I'm Ophelia. To everyone else, I was born into a perfect, wealthy family, but my world is just endless rules and control.
Sit up straight. Remember your status. Don't embarrass me.
My father, Nicholas Prescott, is the warden of this town. Everyone fears him, including me. Here, he is the law. He is the unquestionable king. Never, ever try to cross him. The townspeople secretly called him the king of the dungeon. Even my mother was used to throwing his terrified all around to get whatever she wanted.
We aunt Kunstream if she wantses, and your makeshift the mink is hers. I take walwers into Tiroli everything, I won your loat thing.
That made me a literal princess, one living in a prison without bars, forever trapped. My mom never worked a day in her life. She constantly taught me that a woman's greatest value is to be an exquisite ornament and marry into more power. And I had no choice but to nod. That day, snobby relatives came to visit. To show off his ridiculous power, my arrogant father made a sickening proposal to take them to the prison for a show. The relatives laughed like they were watching monkeys in a circus. Seeing those prisoners stripped of their dignity, forced to dance like clowns, for the first time I felt sickened by this so-called power. But one man refused to submit. He stopped, glaring at my father with a fiery look I had never seen before. It was the first time anyone dared to challenge the king. My father didn't rage, he just gave a cold nod. The next second, that poor man was brutally dragged away like trash. In that moment, I understood what true cruelty was. I was terrified, but my father said it was what criminals deserve. Later, I found out that brave man was thrown into the darkest solitary confinement, deprived of light for a whole month. The seed of doubt was planted that day. On my 16th birthday, I had everything my peers dreamed of. But looking at this opulent room, it just felt like a fancy display case. The walls were closing in, and I could barely breathe. Even in this fortress of surveillance, I found my little moment of joy. It was just like me, scavenging for scraps of life outside those high walls. Just 10 minutes later, he knew. No shouting, no raging, his unnerving icy calm felt more terrifying than death itself.
Never, ever feed those filthy wild creatures again. You know exactly what the consequences are.
In my so-called sanctuary, even the air was filled with my father's surveillance. I thought I had hidden everything, until that phone was slammed right in front of me. He flipped through my secrets like they were nothing more than a groceries list. He didn't need to ask, because in his mind, he already owned my soul. Every day after my 16th birthday, I felt like a prisoner in an upscary cell. Every movement, every search history, all under his microscope. Is this what he calls protection? It's absurd. The rain was tenacious that day. My father's car wheels sent a wave of dirty water crashing over that innocent delivery guy, drenching him instantly. Looking at his soaked back, I felt overwhelmed with guilt, yet my father didn't even tap the brakes. I ignored my father's glare and forced him to stop. I couldn't just leave him freezing in the rain. This reckless impulse was the first real decision I'd made in my entire shackled life. That was the longest few minutes of my life. The car was so quiet, I could hear every breath. Every shift Charlie made felt like a stone dropped into the calm lake of my heart. Charlie said he'd take me out for pizza this Saturday. Looking at his unreserved, clear smile, I found myself agreeing, even though I knew I was walking toward the abyss. The backseat became our makeshift secret hideout. In that narrow space, every one of Charlie's lame jokes felt more precious than any expensive gift in the world. Looking at him, his eyes held no schemes, no pretense, just the clear, unadulterated sincerity of an ordinary boy. But I knew, a happiness like this, it was fragile. He was always so sunny when talking about his mom, but at the mention of his father, his eyes clouded over. I knew he was hiding something. The secret about his family must have been agonizing. That day, I finally ripped off all the masks. Facing their nauseous hypocrisy and high and mighty preaching, I was no longer a puppet to be manipulated. The cost of this rebellion was heavy, but the air in that moment, it tasted surprisingly free.
It seems your wings have grown strong, Ophelia. Don't think you can play me just by installing those dash cams. You have no idea what you're messing.
Even now, he tried to crush me with his stale dogmas and icy indifference. He thought he possessed everything, yet he didn't realize he'd already lost the only thing that mattered. Listening to his toxic, twisted logic, I actually felt a sense of absurdity like never before.
You have no idea how evil the outside world truly is. Who but me can protect you? Everyone else is just preying on your skin.
To keep me from that public school, he didn't hesitate to paint it as a pit of sin.
That place is a breeding ground for criminals. If you persist, you are no longer my daughter.
He was too arrogant. He thought that with a snap of his fingers he could crush countless futures, including mine. The sunset was beautiful that night, but the air at the table was suffocating. Our parents were enthusiastically discussing the business blueprint of our union, pushing me like a piece of merchandise towards that empty-headed Nolan. Did Nolan actually think his fake gentleman act would win me over? How naive. The more he tried to mask his emptiness, the more repulsed I felt. Nolan was smarter than I expected. He hated this arranged charade just as much as I. We formed an alliance, play along with the act, and outsmart my father's all-seeing eyes. In that exact moment, I severed the real-time control my father held over my life. That constantly bubbling phone was left behind, and for the first time in 16 years, I felt a weightless freedom. The approach of those three thugs was suffocating. I thought it was over. But in my most helpless moment, Nolan stood before me. Looking at his resolute back, for the first time I felt a spark of respect for him. Nolan's reflexes were shockingly sharp. He wasn't the same caged canary who only knew how to fake smile at dinner. The way he looked at me held a sincerity and protectiveness I'd never seen. Is this really the Nolan I despised?
Don't be so naive. They were paid off ages ago, all just to make me look a little more like a hero.
Nolan, I thought you had some spine, but you're just another one of my father's lapdogs. This pathetic charade is truly the most repulsing performance I've ever seen. I was so foolish, living under the fear my father meticulously wove around me. From today on, don't even think about treating me like a puppet. I'm not just leaving. I'll make you watch as everything you're so proud of crumbles to dust.
I refused to eat a single bite until they gave in. Watching them pretend to be indifferent, the hatred inside me grew stronger than the hunger. For the first time, I finally held the power. This fall was the final ultimatum I gave them. In the darkness of my fake unconsciousness, I could almost feel my father's cold-blooded scrutiny. If you won't treat me like a person, then don't blame me for making you sober up this way. Here, there were no rules, no cameras. I finally had the joy that a 16-year-old girl is supposed to have. To make mistakes, to laugh without restraint, and to hold the hand of the person I love. This happiness, it's more than I ever dared to imagine. He was right there, waiting at the door, and with that hypocritical smile, he personally tore my hopes to shreds.
You think you found a sanctuary? Ophelia, that boy Charlie, his father was a common criminal. Don't you ever forget who you are.
Every word pierced my heart like a blade. It turns out, the freedom I craved was built upon the bones of his father. The man I'd always called a hero was actually such a vile executioner. In this wing moment, I became the school's public enemy. They didn't need to hear the truth, because truth was never the point. They just needed an outlet for their rage, and I was the perfect scapegoat. I ran away, only to find I had nowhere left to go. My father's shadow reached out here, and in fact, it had reached the deepest corners of my soul long ago.
For a time, I couldn't even distinguish reality from my father's commands. I was just a manipulated puppet, living in the script he assigned me. Even my breath had to follow his rhythm. I was just trying to get a glass of water, but I accidentally overheard a plan even more vicious than before. If I don't stop them quickly, everything will be beyond repair. I refuse to let my school become another one of my father's prisons. The truth may be late, but looking into the fiery eyes of my classmates, I knew we were going to rewrite the ending. Is this what normal life feels like? Working together, facing challenges together? I'd never felt happier. Because here, I'm no longer that cold ornament. I'm one of them.
Thank you, Charlie. You taught me that truth and kindness are always more powerful than cold, calculated authority. The future may be uncertain, but I'm not afraid anymore. In this moment, I finally understood that I never needed his approval. That so-called inheritance, the fame, the money, in the face of his twisted love, they meant nothing. I chose my own path, even if it meant having absolutely nothing.
You will never escape from here.
He threatened to strip me of everything. But he forgot one thing. A person who has lost all fear is unstoppable. Goodbye, Nicholas, and goodbye to your repulsive dungeon.
Ophelia's gone. Everyone acts like her name is taboo, as if she never existed. Was everything my father said true? No. I don't believe it for a second. As long as I'm breathing, as long as there's a single thread of truth to follow, I will find you and pull you out of that prison your father calls a home. No matter where you are, Ophelia.